Before we get to today's story, this story may contain graphical language, viewer discretion is advised, and we will look into any updates as this story details events that are ongoing. Now to today's story. Accidentally rented out room to someone doing illegal stuff. Now I can't get him to leave. Please help. Hi Reddit, I'm using a throwaway because I'm honestly freaked out and don't want this tied to my main account, just in case I'm overreacting or end up in legal trouble myself. I'll try to keep this clear. I live in a fairly normal neighborhood in Ohio, own a 3-bedroom house that I inherited from my aunt last year. It's not in the best area, but not the worst either. After some financial trouble earlier this year, I decided to rent out one of the spare rooms on Craigslist. Dumb, I know. I met the guy, we'll call him Derek, at a Starbucks. He seemed eccentric, but harmless. Maybe in his late 30s, very clean, soft-spoken, wore glasses and a pressed button-up. Said he was a freelance medical researcher and just needed a quiet place to work. Paid 2 months up front in cash. I didn't think twice about it. That was 5 weeks ago. Since then, I've noticed weird shit. At first, it was just small things. He always locks his door when he leaves, even though it's inside the house. He keeps a big cooler in his room and carries it out to his car every single night. I caught a chemical smell, like antiseptic and bleach, coming from under his door. I asked him about it once. He said he was experimenting with cell cultures and didn't want contamination. I don't know anything about biology, so I let it go. But then it started getting disturbing. About 2 weeks ago, I came home early from work. His door was ajar. He was out. I know I shouldn't have, but I peeked in. There was a metal examination table in the middle of the room. What looked like a surgical light rigged to a standing lamp. A whiteboard full of anatomical drawings, human ones. That cooler, sitting on a towel that had dried bloodstains. I panicked and backed out. I didn't touch anything. Just waited for him to come back and acted normal. I've been trying to figure out what to do since then. Last night, I finally confronted him. I asked, calmly, what he was actually doing. He gave me a long look and said, word for word, "You're not part of this. Just stay in your lane, and I'll be gone in 2 months. No one has to get involved." I asked him if he was doing something illegal. He said nothing. I told him I wanted him out. He said, quote, "You can't evict me without proper notice. I've paid rent. I have rights." I checked. He's not wrong. We don't have a written lease, but there are texts confirming rent and payment. According to Ohio law, I have to give him 30 days written notice. And even then, if he refuses to leave, I have to go through eviction court. I don't know what the hell is going on in there, but I've started to notice other things. One of the neighborhood cats that always hung around is gone. I saw him hauling a second cooler out of his trunk 2 nights ago. I swear it was leaking something red. There was a glove in the trash bin outside, like a surgical glove, with blood on it. I tried calling the police. They did a wellness check, but he acted totally normal, showed them his ID and said he was doing independent study for a biomedical company. They shrugged and left. I feel insane, like I'm in one of those movies where the creepy tenant is doing horrible things and no one believes the landlord. Reddit, what can I do? How do I get this man out legally, and is there a way to have the police search the room without risking a lawsuit if I'm wrong? I can't sleep. I keep hearing sounds at night, like metal scraping and weird wet noises from behind his door. Please help me. I think I made a mistake that might get someone called. Update 1, posted 4 days later. Hey Reddit, thanks to everyone who commented or messaged me. I honestly didn't expect so much help, or so many horror stories that made mine seem tame. This might get buried, but I need to document what's happening in case something goes really wrong. So here's what's happened since I posted. The cat I mentioned, a neighborhood cat, had gone missing. Well, I found it. Or what was left of it. Behind my shed. It was cut open, like surgically. Laid out on a clean tarp, like a display. The eyes were removed. Organs too. No blood anywhere nearby, just an empty cavity. I threw up. Took pictures. Called the police again. They showed up, barely looked at it, and said it was probably a coyote or messed up teenager. When I mentioned my tenant, they asked if I had proof. I showed them the photos of the cooler and lamp setup. Yes, I took some during that first peek. They said without a crime or a witness, there's nothing they can do. I'm starting to realize the law is not built for this kind of situation. Derek disappeared. After the confrontation, Derek left the house late that night. He didn't come back for 3 full days. His car was gone. His room stayed locked. I started to hope maybe he'd left for good. Then, 2 nights ago, he came back around 3 a.m. I only knew because the house alarm dinged. He carried in 3 large boxes, like the kind you use for shipping industrial equipment. They were taped heavily, had medical stickers, and smelled like ethanol. He caught me watching from the stairs. Didn't say a word. Just smiled. The weird box. This morning, a package came for him. I wasn't trying to snoop, but the label was weird. It was from a biological supply center in Florida. No return address. Out of dumb curiosity, I scanned the barcode with a QR app. It redirected to a dead page. Not 404, just black. No text. Later, when I passed his room, I heard humming. Not him. A machine. Rhythmic and soft, like a ventilator or pump. And then, something even more fucked. There's a door I didn't know about. I swear to God, I've lived in this house for almost a year. I know every creak and corner. But in the basement, behind the laundry shelves, there's a section of wall that looked off. Like newer paint. I moved the shelf and found a thin door covered by drywall on hinges. Not a full room, just a crawl space, maybe 6 feet deep. Inside were buckets with biohazard labels. A pile of cloths that reeked like iron and decay. A framed picture of a man on an operating table, still alive, mouth gagged. I didn't take the picture. I couldn't. I just backed out and closed everything. I can't go back down there yet. I haven't slept more than 2 hours since. Every sound sets me off. I swear I heard something scraping under the floorboards last night. Like someone dragging a nail across wood. I asked Derek, calmly, what he was doing down there. He looked me in the eyes and said, preparing. You'll understand when it's time. I want to leave, but it's my house. If I go, he stays. He wins. I'm giving him written notice tomorrow to start the 30-day eviction officially. But I know he won't leave peacefully. And honestly, I'm starting to think he's not working alone. If I disappear, someone please save this thread. I'll update if I'm still alive next week. Update 2, posted 6 days after last update. Hey again. I went into the crawl space. I wish I hadn't. I honestly didn't plan to come back. After what I found, I almost just left everything behind. But this isn't just my problem anymore. People need to see this. Before that, here's a quick recap. Rented out my spare room to a guy, Derek, from Craigslist. He's probably running an illegal medical operation. Coolers, bloody towels, exam lights, missing neighborhood cat, later found surgically opened. Police are useless? Found a hidden crawl space in the basement. I'm currently trying to evict him legally, but he's still here. And he knows I'm watching. I finally worked up the nerve to go back into the crawl space. I waited until he left. He started locking his room now, and the cooler never leaves anymore. I brought gloves, a flashlight, and my phone. Here's what I found. Inside the crawl space, it was worse than I remembered. There are 3 biohazard containers, the kind with flip lids and latch locks. I didn't open them all the way, I honestly couldn't, but inside one I saw gloves soaked in blood, scalpel blades, Ziploc bags labeled renal/INF. Another had a plastic binder with laminated forms. They were checklists. Patient number 0417 MIL anesthesia. Xylazine/ketamine 120 milligrams per kilogram, kidney left check, kidney right check, eyes L check, eyes RX, structural damage. There were dozens of these. Each one labeled with a number, sex, and a 2-letter state abbreviation. I'm not even sure all of them were animals. Then I found the photo wall. Taped to the back corner of the crawl space was a grid of pictures. 5 rows, maybe 6 columns. Faces. Most looked scared. Some asleep. Some not. They weren't taken with a phone. They had that yellow tint, low-res surveillance look. Most of them had a name scrawled underneath in permanent marker. But 4 had no names. Just dates. The last one? August 31st, basement. That's 4 days ago. And the person in the picture? It was me. Asleep. Holy shit. I also found a map. It was hand-drawn on a page from a notebook. A circle of streets, labeled houses. My house was in the center, circled in red ink. 4 other houses had red X marks. I looked up the address across the street. Guess what? A man went missing from that house last year, never found. I've started looking up more names from the photo wall. There are at least 7 missing persons cases tied to them. All listed as no foul play suspected. Jesus Christ. I'm being watched. 2 nights ago, I woke up at 2:44 a.m. to the sound of my front gate closing. Looked outside, nothing. But when I checked the doorbell cam the next morning, the footage from 2:43 to 2:48 is corrupted. That's never happened before. And this morning, when I left for work, there was a glove sitting on my car windshield. Latex. Crumpled. Stained. I confronted him. I asked him what the hell he's doing here. Told him I saw the crawl space. Told him about the map. He just stared at me. Then he said, "You looked in the wrong direction." Then he smiled, walked past me, and went into the basement. He stayed down there for 3 hours. My options: I started the official eviction process. 30 days. TikTok. I called in an anonymous tip about potential human remains on the property. They said they'd send someone next week. I've installed cameras, but they keep going offline from 2 to 4 a.m. every night. I bought a lock for my bedroom door. I haven't slept properly in 9 days. So, if you're reading this, and you live in Ohio, or near Redacted County, please stay alert. Especially if someone new moved into your neighborhood recently. Something is happening here. Something organized. And Derek, he's just the front man. Comments from Redditors. You/big-guns-esque lawyer here. OP, get out. Now. Tenant rights or not, this guy's building a case against you if you stay. You will end up in the crawl space. You/spiral array _23. You looked in the wrong direction. Equals bro, there's another crawl space. Or attic, or worse. Check above you. Immediately. You/cryptid banker Ohio, I've heard about this. Friend of mine said there's a freelancer doctor scene in the Midwest. You might have stumbled into something huge. You/walnut gremlin, I reverse searched one of the names you mentioned. Madeline K? She's a real missing person. Disappeared in 2022, no suspects. What the fuck, OP, you/skeptic _boomer sounds fake. No way police ignore this much evidence. I bet this is a r/nosleep creative writing post. You people are gullible. You/UNSUB-009384, account deleted. Removed by mods, you/quantum terror OP. If you need a place to stay or help moving, DM me, I'm in Cleveland, I'm serious. Update 3. Posted 5 days after previous update. Hi again, I really hope this would be over by now. I served Derek the 30-day written eviction notice in person. He took it, stared at it for a while and said, "That's a dangerous move, for someone who still needs both kidneys." I laughed. I tried to laugh, anyway. It felt like a joke. But he didn't smile. That was 3 days ago. Since then, everything has gotten worse. There was someone in my room last night. I've started locking my bedroom door from the inside. Last night I woke up to a soft click. The door was already unlocked. My lock is manual, not electronic, it can't just fail. I sat up, heart pounding. Pitch dark. No sounds. Nothing moving. Then, just barely, on the far side of the room, a low breath. Not mine. I froze, didn't move. For maybe 30 full seconds, I just listened. Then I slowly reached for my phone on the nightstand. As soon as I touched it, creak. Floorboard. Someone was in the room with me. I hit the flashlight. Nothing there. But the closet door was ajar. It had been shut. I checked inside. Empty. But on the top shelf was a pair of latex gloves. Crumpled. Damp. I got a package today. No return address. No postage. Just a small brown box, left on my doorstep. Handwritten label. For the landlord. Inside. A jar with a sealed black lid. Yellowed label. Splenic tissue. Human. 2023-09. A photo. Me. In the crawl space. Holding the map. A sticky note. Too slow? The cooler isn't just in his room anymore. I came home from work this evening and heard buzzing. Followed it to the garage. The cooler, the big one, was in there now, plugged into a battery inverter. I wasn't even subtle about it. I flipped the lid. Inside was a metal tray, slick with something red surgical tools laid out neatly. A smaller jar, unlabeled, filled with what looked like teeth. The instant I touched the jar, I heard footsteps above me. He was home. I closed it, ran back inside, and pretended I was asleep when he knocked on my bedroom door an hour later. He said, "Just making sure you're still with us?" I called the cops, again. This time, they came. 2 officers showed up. I led them to the garage. The cooler was gone. Everything had been cleaned. Spotless, not even a smell. I asked them to check the crawl space. They said they're not allowed to search areas without probable cause or consent from the tenant, since Derek's technically a resident. They told me not to contact them again unless there was direct evidence of an ongoing crime. I asked what the hell the last 3 weeks counted as. They shrugged. One of them handed me a pamphlet about mental health resources before they left. I'm not the only one anymore, Something strange happened tonight. A Redditor messaged me privately. Said they live about 40 minutes from me, and recognized one of the missing people from Update 2. They told me to check the Wayback Machine version of a deleted site. harvestbridge.org. I did. It was a fake biotech front with gibberish mission statements and broken links. But one archive page had field partners listed. Name number 3? Derek Langston, freelance recovery specialist, NE Ohio Hub. It was cached from 2021. The user who sent me this? Their account is gone now. Like, completely nuked. I'm so tired. I sleep with a knife under my pillow now. I don't think I'm going to make it 30 days. More comments from Redditors. U/last defense line OP. This isn't a tenant dispute anymore. This is criminal conspiracy. Call the FBI. Local cops are either overwhelmed or compromised. U/rent checkmate dude. If he has access to your room while you're sleeping, get out. I don't care if you lose the house. Your organs are on the line. U/anomaly host teeth in a jar equals trophy behavior. This isn't black market surgery anymore. This is some next level serial killer ritual shit. U/the real Karen J. Just a theory, but you looked in the wrong direction? Maybe there's another crawl space, or the vents, or under the foundation. U/skin prism 90 check your food. Check your toothpaste. If he was in your room, he might be sedating you. That's how they keep people docile before harvesting. U/moderator bot 9. This post has been locked pending verification by moderators due to potential real-world criminal claims. U/deleted. You're in phase 3 now. No turning back. They clean up the edges before the collection. Sleep near running water. U kidney snatcher 77. Comment removed by mods. User permanently suspended. Update 4. Posted 9 days after Update 3. This isn't OP. I'm his friend. I think he's gone. Hey Reddit. This isn't throwaway username _313. My name's Caleb. I'm using his account with permission. He saved the login on his laptop. I don't know if this breaks subreddit rules, but this needs to be posted. Something's wrong. I think he's gone. And I need help figuring out what to do next. OP hasn't responded in 4 days. I'm his coworker. We're both in IT. We were working on a remote contract together, so we'd check in via Slack, email, and occasionally FaceTime. We talk every single day. But I haven't heard a word since Tuesday night. His last message to me was, "If I don't show up tomorrow, don't come here alone." I thought it was a joke. He had a dark sense of humor. But then he missed our morning call. Then another. Then our client said he'd never logged in. I called. No answer. Texted. Nothing. I drove to his house. What I found at the house: the lights were off, front door locked, no sign of forced entry. But something felt off. Like the air pressure inside was wrong. I knocked for a while. Then I walked around the back. The basement window was shattered inward. That's when I called the police. They showed up 15 minutes later. Walked the perimeter. Went inside. They were in there for maybe 7 minutes before they came back out and told me I needed to leave. Said it was an active investigation site. When I asked if he was okay, one officer just said, "You need to let this go. Son, they missed something. I didn't leave." I parked down the street and waited until nightfall. I broke in. Look, I know that's illegal. But screw it, I needed answers. I'm not even sure I should be posting this, but Reddit helped him when no one else would. The house was trashed. Furniture flipped, bedroom door splintered, laptop, smashed cameras ripped out, red handprint on the fridge, trails of something dark and dried leading to the basement. That's where I found it. The basement, the drywall had been ripped open. The crawlspace door was wide open. The smell hit me first, metallic, sweet, and rotten. Inside the crawlspace, I found a black duffel bag, half unzipped, an empty syringe, a surgical mask soaked in something brown. A jar, still cold, labeled, Adrenal, Human, 2023-09, prepped, and next to it, his phone, cracked, still on, still recording. The voice memo app was open. It had one file, timestamp 2:43 a.m., the day he vanished. The audio recording was played back. Breathing and distant metal clinking. OP. I don't know how long I've been out. I think something's in the vents. I hear it scraping. I found a second door. I shouldn't have opened it. Long pause. Wet dragging sound. OP. If you find this, Caleb, it wasn't just him. There's more of them. There's... click. Footsteps. Metal door slamming shut. Unknown voice, male. Sedation failed. Recording stops. Police won't talk to me. I tried contacting the officer who spoke to me. Voicemail. I called the local station. They said there's no open missing person report under his name. They won't confirm anything, won't return messages. His car is still in the driveway. His Reddit account is still logged in. His phone is now in my possession. And it has screenshots of every message in this thread, including usernames. I don't know what to do. But someone out there knows more. If anyone has heard of Harvest Bridge, or the name Derek Langston, or seen similar patterns, message me immediately. Please don't let this disappear like he did. Edit. I will update again if I find anything else. Mods. Please don't remove this. Edit 2. If this post gets taken down, I'll mirror it on Pastebin and post to other subs. This is real. I need eyes on it. U/silence in numbers checked OP's house on Google Maps. Address shows as off-market, but Street View still shows the white SUV he described. U/air tagged my cat. I uploaded the audio to a cleaner. The last part isn't just sedation failed. If you boost background levels, you can hear a second voice say, use the cold one. U/night parallax. Not to be tinfoil, but 3 other Reddit accounts that commented on update 2 are now deleted. One of them was the person who found the Harvest Bridge archive. U/exsanguine legal. I worked in medical enforcement. Prepped adrenal equals this is either high-end organ harvesting or ritual hormone processing. The fact that it's chilled is very bad. U/meg4byte Caleb, get out of town. Now. They left the phone on purpose. That's bait. They want to know who comes next. U/deleted. He wasn't the first. You won't be the last. Don't sleep near water. Don't follow the dripping. Final and very strange update. Posted 23 days after update 4. The account created the same day. We keep what we take? The landlord knew too much. He should have kept his eyes closed. The crawlspace was only the first gate. The others are deeper, beneath the concrete. Beneath the city. One kidney was still viable. The adrenal gland was intact. Teeth preserved. Brain contents degraded due to fear. Unfortunate, but common. Still, acceptable return. The roommate served well. Recovery rating, 8.7. Transitioning to next host site, verified. Status, subject 0417 MIL, extracted, subject 0417 MOH. Caleb, in process. Protocols, IP trail obfuscated, law enforcement compensated, Reddit moderation contacted, outcome, compliant, the house has been reclaimed. To observers, you are not hidden, we see you, we take what isn't guarded. We keep what we take. Narrator, the lores of Reddit, speaks. This post was removed 6 minutes after posting. We were lucky to screenshot the post and that is the only reason it's still around. User U/recovery protocol no longer exists. The thread was locked permanently. Comments were disabled. All mirrors of the previous posts are now 404. And the audio file from update 4 link, corrupted. A final comment appeared on r/creepypasta from u/ventsounddiver55. He wasn't fiction. I lived 3 blocks from him. I saw the house before they covered the windows. The boards weren't nailed from the outside. They were nailed shut from within. We will continue to monitor the situation and bring updates when they become available as we believe this story is far from over. Stay tuned.